Morning, everyone. Sometimes when you come to do a talk, you get stuff that distracts you, and I've got two of those distracting me this morning, so I'm just going to say them out loud first in the hope that then I can sort of get them out of my system, because I've got a million things I'm trying to say to you anyway, and now I'm distracted by these two first. So the first one is, I messed up the scheduling, and I forgot that I was supposed to be doing youth group this morning. And so that's why they're all stuck, mostly up there, but not entirely. I feel bad about that. Sorry, everybody. To make you stay on your toes, feel engaged, I don't know. I might, if any of you are feeling confident, ask you what a zero-sum game is at some point in this talk. So in about 15 minutes, just so you know it's coming, if anyone's feeling confident and you want to say what a zero-sum game is, just be warned, that might be coming your way. The second thing is, there was a piece of legislation passed recently that, in effect, took away some rights and imposed quite a lot of potentially dangerous and hateful rhetoric on trans people. And that's just really in my head. I'm thinking of my trans friends this morning, and the young people like them who now are going to be inevitably subject to much more harm and cruel treatment. And that just fills my heart with sorrow. And it connects in my head and heart with what I'm talking about this morning. And I'm just naming the fact that that is weighing heavy in the background for me, in the hope that maybe, I'll just get that out of my system now. All right, there we go. Let's actually do this talk. Gosh, guys, I've got so many things I want to say to you. God, please help me actually communicate some of this stuff. Let's start by reading the passage that we're looking at. It's up there. Oh, I can't read it from there. Okay. It's from Matthew 16. I'm just going to read it to you first of all. Then Jesus said to his disciples, "Whoever wants to be my disciple must deny themselves and take up their cross and follow me. For whoever wants to save their life will lose it, but whoever loses their life for me will find it. What good will it be for someone to gain the whole world but forfeit their soul? What can anyone give in exchange for their soul? For the Son of Man is going to come in his Father's glory with his angels, and he will reward each person according to what they have done. And truly I tell you, some who are standing here will not taste death before they see the Son of Man coming in his kingdom." There's two main bits of this I want to focus on this morning, partly just because time, which is those two sentences there. Whoever wants to be my disciple must deny themselves and take up their cross and follow me. And what good will it be for someone to gain the whole world yet forfeit their soul? Those are the two main bits I want to focus on this morning. I'm going to try and spare Chris having to keep up with my gabbling thoughts, so I've basically just got one thing that I'm going to leave there the whole time, and it's got my notes to myself over there, so if you or me get lost at any point, that's where we're going. But yeah, I want to just start by sort of asking you to think a little bit about what your gut reaction is to that passage. I feel like it's quite forceful words, and it's probably quite likely to get a gut reaction out of you. I don't know what that is for you. You might not know what it is for you. So I'm just going to read it one more time. Just take a little second to just think about what your gut reaction is to this. Whoever wants to be my disciple must deny themselves and take up their cross and follow me. For whoever wants to save their life will lose it, but whoever loses their life for me will find it. What good will it be for someone to gain the whole world, but forfeit their soul? I suppose I can imagine a world where that's a thing that lands heavy on you. Maybe that feels quite like a downer. Like, deny myself, lose my life, like not get to gain the whole world. There's all this talk of forfeiting souls, like, whoa, this is heavy. Or maybe I can imagine a world where it just sounds hard. It's not so much that it's a downer, but it's, goodness me, that's a big ask. Like, deny myself and take up my cross and lose my life and not gain the world and have to worry about the state of my soul. Like, that's a lot. That's difficult. That's arduous. Maybe. I don't know. If that is you, I'm sort of sorry, because I personally find this passage, like, I might not be starting on the same page as you, and so I'm sorry if I sort of miss some bits that are speaking to you. But for me, this passage, I find it really exciting. This gets me really fired up. This is sort of what I'm signed up for. This is the bit that gets me animated. This is what I feel like church should be about. To me, this is a rallying cry to join the resistance, and I'm in for the resistance, and I want it, and it gets me stoked up, and I would love to convey that excitement and animation and hope to all of you in a similar way. Yeah, I love it if and when I feel like church is a place where we're all excited to be in this resistance together. And I think I want to say as well, just because I know sometimes I can get a bit like philosophical, sorry youth group again, do that to you too. This is something that applies to all of life. This isn't some abstract conceptual thing. Whatever age or stage you're at, I promise you the stuff that I'm trying to talk about this morning will apply to you. So you've got no excuses, can't zone out or nap through this one. Doesn't matter where or who you are in life, this is a live question for you. So if you're 2, I do quite a lot of looking after 2 and 3-year-olds at the moment. There's a couple of siblings who are 2 and 3 at the same time. That's exciting. If you're them and you're 2 and 3 and you're at that stage in life where the biggest deal is who's going to get to go on the scooter with the orange foot brake and who's going to have the scooter without it, and you want to like shove your sibling over to make sure that you get the scooter with the orange foot brake, this applies to you. If you're 12 and you're stressing about feeling a bit sad and down in your life and you don't understand what it is that's going to, like, you're changing to a new big school and everything feels weird and upended and you don't know if it's supposed to be about, like, getting some romance in your life or whatever, and then you stumble across this video of Andrew Tate telling you that women are responsible for all the terrible things that come your way and the reason that you feel so uneasy is because of these awful women. That's the thing that happens. This is for you. If you're 20 and you're trying to get your first house, but you can't because your parents are there telling you that, oh, it's fine, like, what is it, like 4 times the cost of your salary? And you're going, no, it's like 4,000 times the cost of my salary. What are you talking about? I don't know what world you grew up in. I'm never, ever going to be able to get a house or basically own anything because I only just about earn enough to cover my bills. Maybe if I work 2 jobs at once. Don't know what world you're living in, but my one sucks. This is for you. If you're 30, and, I don't know, maybe you're about to get married and you're worrying about, like, what is life going to look like? How do I share my life with this other person? What does it mean to have everything together? This is for you. If you're worried about, like, big questions of national politics or international politics or the Russian invasion of Ukraine, this is for you. If you're worried about historical empires and how they came to pass and 200 years of colonialism and what that's done for the ways that we carry around biases in our day-to-day life now, this is for you. If you're worried about the biggest systemic questions of all of whatever, like the biggest conceptual abstract stuff, the ones that I really enjoy, this is for you. There's nowhere to go that this question doesn't map into. Sorry. So you got no excuses. And that's because what Jesus is getting at here, I think, is really a question about what world do you want to live in? What character do you want to see in yourself, in your family, in your neighborhood, in your city, in your country, in your world, in your eternity? What character do you want to see? What do you want it to look like and feel like? What nature do you hope for? And that question is never not going to be live, right? Every choice, every action, every moment, everything we're doing, we are weighing it up in the light of the world, the nature, the character that we hope for. Okay, that was the blue highlighted introduction section. That's bad news for the clock. Right. What I want to do real quickly in this middle bit, the pink highlighted middle section, is explain the difference between these two things that Jesus is setting out. So he talks here about what good will it be for someone to gain the whole world yet forfeit their soul. I think he is putting those two things in direct opposition. He is talking about two different systems, two different setups, two different worlds, two different natures that you want to see. One is the world gainer way. I'll unpack what I mean by that in a second. And the other is the soul keeper way. Do you want to be in a world and a character and a nature that is all about gaining the whole world? Or do you want to be in a world where you get to keep your soul? He's putting them in direct opposition. What if you get all of the world but forfeit your soul? What if you went the other way around? What could you ever give that would be worth it in exchange for your soul? What if you do it the other way around and you get to keep all of your soul but you don't gain any of the world? He's putting them like scales trading off against each other. So what are the characteristics of these two worlds, natures, these two types of character? So let's talk first about the world gainer way. Then we'll talk about the soul keeper way, and then we'll talk about why it is that the cross is crucial to making a distinction between those two and which one we want to choose to opt into, and what I mean when I say the resistance. What is this world gainer way? What does that mean, to gain the whole world? Youth group, does anyone want to tell me what a zero-sum game is? Oh, yes, okay, we've got two answers down here. Go on, then both have a stab at it. Also, what's your name this morning?
I'll just go for Daniel.
Oh, controversial. Every time we do youth group, they get to pick their own names.
So basically, it's where you can only gain something by taking from someone else, or you can only gain something if this other person does not gain something. For example, like there's one cookie that for some reason can't be split, but two people. One person can have the cookie, but that means the other person won't get it.
Boom! That's such a perfect answer. I'm not even going to ask anybody else. Yes. I can't even tell you, youth group gang, how happy it makes me when you remember any of the things we talk about. And to be able to have got a zero-sum game down like that brings joy to my heart. Thanks. Zero-sum game. That's a great shorthand for the world gainer setup. You can't have something unless you take it off somebody else. Everything is a fight. There's only limited amount of stuff, and there's too many people to spread it between, so everything's a fight. So SRV stands for scarcity, rivalry, violence. There's scarcity. There's not enough of everything. It's like musical chairs. There's one chair less than there are people. There's not enough to go round. So everything is rivalry. Right? We can't both be in all of the chairs, so I have to knock you out, I have to take you out of the game. I can only win by removing something from you. And everything then becomes violence. Because if everything is rivalry, then everything is a fight, and a fight always means violence. That's the world gainer way. I mean, it's handy, because in the world at the moment, I feel like we've got a really good sort of practical worked example of exactly this. Like, I think Jesus asked this as mostly a rhetorical question, right? This is like a speech device. What would it mean for somebody to gain the whole world but forfeit their soul? Let's think about that, guys, as a thought experiment. And I feel like Elon Musk read this sentence and went, I'm going to give it a go. I'm going to try it. I'm going to go out there. I'm going to get the whole world. I'm going to get $44 billion and spend it on buying Twitter. I'm going to get infinite money. But you can see this man losing his soul on a daily basis. I feel like he's speed running the actual answer to this question. And the reason is the world gainer way forces you into scarcity, rivalry, violence. EOC up there stands for exploitation, oppression, and conquest, cruelty, whatever you want to call it. There is no way to win at the world gainer way without turning to exploitation and oppression and cruelty, because everybody's your rival. You're all fighting over the same stuff. You can't have the whole world and somebody else have the whole world. Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Vladimir Putin, Donald Trump, and Sheikh bin Salman, they can't all have the whole world because we've only got 5 worlds to go around. I mean, Musk is trying to do that as well. He's trying to get all of Mars. But, There's only one world. There's 5 of them. And it just leads to this sort of picture where it's going to be those 5 guys specifically like stood on an ever-shrinking iceberg, like trying to gouge each other's eyes out and like fighting to the death. And then one of them's going to win and they're going to go, yes, I did it. We played the only one person can win game and I was the one who won and I've gained the whole world. I conquered you all. And what are they going to see? They're going to stand there on this like tiny square foot of ice and a pile of other people's skulls. Like, what are you going to do with it? That is inevitably the logic of the gain the whole world game. It's a zero-sum game. It has to come at the cost of somebody else. If you gain the whole world, somebody else has to lose it. Everything is rivalry. Everything is violence. And we're seeing it on the rise. If you're paying attention, this world gain away is becoming more and more popular. Right? People are being more and more brazen about it. Trump wants to invade Greenland and Panama. Like, I've got to have it. There's land there, and it's not mine. That's unacceptable. I've got to go get it. Putin's doing it in Russia. You'll see it in the small-scale stuff. You'll see it in a 2-year-old grabbing a scooter off their brother. I want it. You can't have it. I'm going to fight you for it. Scary to me that this might need explaining, that this is a bad thing. But I've heard people talk about this like it's a good thing. I'm going to not have time to explain all of that. But if you want to come and get in a fight with me afterwards about why this is a bad thing, please, let's do it. We'll get our own iceberg. The soul keep away. Jesus sets that up in opposition to keeping your soul. I think we sort of already know what soul means. You know when something's got soul. We're talking about humanity, compassion, generosity, grace, selflessness, heart, mercy, kindness, the fruits of the Spirit. Like, I think soul here can just mean what we mean it to mean in conversation. I'm going to keep my soul. I'm going to keep my humanity towards somebody else. And it can't ever be. The reason Jesus sets these up in opposition, he's not making some threat. He's not like, you must choose. This is some clever game I've set up. Would you like the whole world or your soul? What's your choice? It's a difficult one. He's just describing what happens. You can't have both at the same time. You can't be playing the world gainer game and the keep your soul game, because the world gainer game necessarily ends in scarcity, rivalry, violence, exploitation, oppression, and cruelty. And you know already, without me having to unpack it, those things cannot be squared with having soul. Soul means you can't have violent rivalry. You can't be exploiting other people. You can't be oppressing other people. You can't have cruelty. That is not what soul is. And I could give you, I really wish I had time, I want to give you the whole theological eschatology of why I believe that is what the kingdom of God in eternity looks like. I don't think it's about going to separate places. I think everyone ends up in the same place. They just have different experiences of it. Imagine a kingdom that is ruled by God's good way of generosity, grace, mercy, and selflessness. That's what's rolled out everywhere. Now drop Elon Musk now into that world. He has a miserable time. He doesn't know what to do with that. He's still there trying to start fights on an iceberg with whoever's up for it. He's locked into a world of rivalry, violence, and exploitation, cruelty. And that world doesn't exist anymore in God's good kingdom. So he has a miserable time. But for those people who have been longing and praying and hoping for a world marked by that character and that nature, it is the best news possible. Here it comes, the kingdom of radical equality. Here it comes, the kingdom of radical inclusion, of grace, of mercy that went far enough to love me and everybody else. For all time, the people who want that celebrate. The people who have spent their life training to not live in that world wail and gnash their teeth. And it can't be both. You can't gain the whole world and keep your soul, because you can't live in the kingdom that says, I've got to take everything I can off of you, and live in the kingdom of, I want to share everything I have with all of you. You can't do it. It's one or the other. You can't serve God and mammon, says Jesus. Mary sings when she learns that she is pregnant with Jesus. That she is going to give birth to the Messiah. She sings a song that the rich he has sent away empty, He has lifted up the humble. Can't have it both ways. It's harder for a rich person to enter the kingdom of heaven. Why is it so hard for a rich person to enter the kingdom of heaven? Isn't that a cruel rule of God to impose? It's not a rule. It's just a description. If you stay rich, if you're staying in world gainer world, you've committed to making choices of violence and exploitation and cruelty. You have to have done to stay rich to play that world gainer game. So it's going to be hard for you to enter the kingdom, because if you get there, you're going to have a miserable time. Oh, my days. I could go on and on. Right. Let's do the last bit real quick. What's the cross got to do with this? The cross is the mark of making that call, of making the call to go the soul-staying way rather than the world-gaining way. See, the people who are trying to gain the whole world, they have to have tools of exploitation, oppression, and cruelty. They have to have tools of keeping you in line. And for the Roman Empire, which was definitely doing the gain the whole world way, go look at a map at the expansion of the Roman Empire, they're definitely trying to get it all. Their tool was the cross. Right? If you step out of line, if you get in the way of the gaining the whole world that we want to do, this is what we'll do to you. There you go. We'll put you on one of those. And we'll make a symbol of you to everybody else so that they know not to make the same mistake again. But everybody has one. At the moment, Trump has extrajudicial extradition to El Salvadorian prisons. That's the cross of 2025. If you get in my way, if you don't like what I'm saying, if you don't champion me, I'm just going to send you off to this camp to have your head shaved and be sat in an El Salvadorian prison and no one will know where you are. But any empire, any conquest, any world-gaining system in the whole history of the world will have its version of the cross, the thing to keep you in line. And Jesus says, your choices are, you can be the person who wields that tool, or you can be the person who carries that. You can be in the team that is trying to leverage that over other people, that is trying to impose your will, that is trying to gain the whole world. Or you can stand in solidarity with those who are at risk of that consequence. See, Jesus stood up to the world-gaining way of the Roman Empire, of selfishness, of the human condition, and the natural consequence was crucifixion. This is before, this is before the story's unraveled, by the way. Jesus is saying this before he's been crucified. He walks his own talk. He says, I am willing to, in order to show you the betterness of the keep your soul way, in order to resist the gain the whole world way, I am willing to carry the cross that the Roman Empire will put on me as punishment. And he did. And then we know where that story ended. That's why I get excited for Easter. Because the Roman Empire thought it had imposed the cross on Jesus and that gaining the whole world had beaten keeping your soul. It turns out there's a fun twist in that story. Anyway, so Jesus says the same call to us. Are you willing? Are you willing to stand with those on the underside? Are you willing to stand with those at risk of the world gainers imposing this oppression on you? Are you willing to be part of the resistance for a better way, for a kinder, more gracious, more loving, more marked by mercy way? Will you come with me? It might be costly. It might be costly. The promise of Jesus is not we get to gain the whole world in a sneaky, like round the side way. The promise of Jesus is we get to resist that. And we get to be part of a different kingdom. So, that's basically the temptations of Jesus in the wilderness, by the way. Do you remember that? With the devil saying, why don't you just take all of this? And Jesus chooses a different way. That is the call to all of us. That's what this building is supposed to be about. We are the training camp for the resistance that says no to the gain the whole world and says yes to the keep your soul way. And that's what I want to send you out with this week. You will see it everywhere. You will see it from a 2-year-old pushing their brother off the scooter to the front page of the BBC News World headlines. You will see it in your office. You will see it in your own heart if you stop and pay attention. There will be moments to choose. Do you want to play the gain the whole world zero-sum iceberg game? Or do you want to play the Jesus carry the cross, fight for a better kingdom game? Which world do you want? Which nature do you want? Which character do you long for? So keep an eye out for it And when you see it happen, shout at it. You don't have to do it out loud, but that could be quite fun. Say, I don't want this. I don't choose to gain the whole world. I am choosing to keep my soul, to carry my cross, and to follow Jesus. I'm excited for that, even if it's costly, even if it's hard, even if it's scary, even if it feels like a downer. That is what I want. Let's pray. God, we thank and praise you that your way is not our way. And that one day your way will cover the earth like the waters cover the sea. And we want to be swimming in that now and always. We want your way. We reject greed. We reject selfishness. We reject violence. We reject turning everything into a fight. We choose you, we choose grace, we choose mercy, we choose selflessness, we choose your kingdom, God. Help us live that out every minute of every day.